All right, everybody, this is a guided walkthrough for level number 19 from the Temperance CTF labs from HackMyVM.eu. So in this level, we have to do the following. So in this mission, you will receive a zip file encoded in base64. The zip file contains a .txt file, which contains a string inside. You should return the string inside of the .txt file. Okay, so in this mission, we receive a zip file encoded in base64. So we receive base64 base64 string from the server. So this is a base64 string, and what we need to do is we need to convert the base64 string back into a zip file. We need to unzip the file and grab the .txt file inside, and then we need to read the .txt file or the text file inside the zip file and then return that to the server. So how are we going to do this? So the first thing we need to do is we need to go back to our previous code, and we need to start modifying it. So here, we've got the code for the previous level, and I think we're going to comment out everything after this line of code. So in this case, all we're going to do is we're going to select level 19 to choose the level. Okay, so we select level number 19 and then we receive the challenge. So we just need to make sure that we can receive the challenge properly, and then from there we'll figure out what we can do. So we're just going to write this out, and then we're going to run the script on this side. Okay, so we do receive a bunch of bytes which have a base64 encoded string. So the first thing we need to do is we need to decode. We need to decode the base64 string back into its original form. So we need to import some modules. So in this case, we're going to import base64. And that's going to be the next step. So the next step is to transform the zip file back into its original form. And we're going to do it over here. So this step is convert the base64 string back into a zip file. And so I guess we're just going to call this zip file equals base64.b64 decode. Base64 decode on data 2. And I guess we can also print out something, because we always like to print out something to let us know that something is happening inside the program. So this is the original zip file. And then we'll print out zip_file. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm not too sure if this is the correct syntax. This might not be the correct syntax. If it's not, then I need to go and look that up. All right, we're going to write this out, and we're going to run the script one more time. Okay, great. It looks like it worked. So we got the base64 encoded string, and then we convert it back into its original contents. So these are also bytes. And so these are the hex equivalents of these bytes if they're not printable. But if they are printable, then you'll see the printed versions right here. So what do we do from here? From here, I'm not completely sure, but I'm going to do some Googling to find out what we need to do. So over at Google, let's go ahead and ask a more specific question. So I have a base64 encoded zip file, how do I extract the files inside and work with them in Python? Okay, to extract the files from a base64 encoded zip and work with them in Python, the following steps are required. Decode the base64 string. Looks like the AI is going to help us out from Google. I guess this would be Gemini in this case. So create an in-memory file-like object. So treat the decoded bytes as a file, allowing the zip file module to interact with it. Open the zip archive. Use the zip file module to open the in-memory zip archive, extract, and process the files. Okay, so here's a Python example demonstrating these steps. So we got zip file, so import zip file. Okay, let's import zip file then. And what's the next step? So extract base64 zip. So it decodes a base64 encoded zip file, extracts its contents. Okay, so extract base64 zip. So we're creating a little function here. So try decode the base64 encoded string, and then create an in-memory file like object. So I mean, we've already done part of this. Open the zip archive. So import IO, import zip file. So let's import IO up here. Okay, so it wants us to create a little function. So we're just going to create the function before everything else up here. Let's grab this part. Okay, and we'll try to understand what exactly is going on before we run any of this, because if we just run code that we grab from the AI and we blindly use it, then we're not learning. And if we're not learning, we're not having a good time. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we're using the same spacing, because if the spacing is off in Python, then it's going to be a very bad time. Decode zipped bytes. I mean, we decoded zipped bytes. We don't need this step because we've already decoded it. Okay, and then we need to create an in-memory file-like object. Okay, so IO bytes, IO, decoded zip bytes. So I mean, we're not... Base64 encoded zip data, I mean, we'll just say zip data. Zip data, extract to path, extracted files. Extract to path extracted files. Are we going to, I mean, I suppose we need this, but... Okay, so decoded zip bytes. We're just going to call it zip data. Okay, open the zip file. With zip file, zip file, zip file in memory are as. So we're going to read that thing. So zip ref. So we're going to create a file, an object called zip ref. Extract and process files. So zip ref dot extract all extracted path. Okay. Yeah. So print successfully extracted files to extracted path. Great. And so it extracts it all, but can we actually read the files? Okay, so we'll write this out. We'll try using the function here, extract base64 zip. And I guess let's do that as the next step. So what can we do? So extract all, we don't want to extract all, we just want to save, we want to save the file, we want to save the contents of the file to something. So extract and process files. I mean, we just want to read the file. So zipref zip file module. So Python zip file module read file content. Okay, to read the content of a file within a zip archive using Python zip file module, open the zip file, create a zip file object in read mode. Okay, what do they want us to do here? Access the desired file within the zip, use the open method of the zip file object, providing the name of the file inside the archive as an argument. This will return a file-like object representing the content of that specific file within the zip. So how can we just want to, we're assuming there's only one file, and we just want to read the contents of all the files. Okay, so read file content. Read content of all files. Vim IDE might be, that's true. That's why does no one read the official docs? Well, okay. Zip file works with zip archives. Let me read this real quick. People don't read the official docs because they think that it's going to be much faster to just Google the answer. That's the reason why people don't read the official docs. Okay, so what we need to do is we just need to read. Classes for reading and writing zip files. Okay, read the existing file. As my file, print the thing. So let's see, a writable file is handled. The problem with the official docs is that they're not necessarily going to answer your specific question. And that's why people don't read the official docs. Extracting a zip file. Okay. We'll crawl the whole directory and its subdirectories, get a list of all file paths before writing them to a zip file. Okay, so we're just going to search Python zip file read all file contents. So of course we've got the AI answer. Below the AI answer, they've got Stack Overflow. Read all files in zip archive in Python. So just so we say we're not using relying on the AI, we're going to rely on Stack Overflow instead. So I'm trying to read all the files in a zip archive using the glob method. Okay. So glob doesn't look inside your archive. It just gives you a list of JPEG files in your current something. Zip file already has methods for returning information about the files in the archive. Are you just looking for files equals? I guess the first thing we would want to do is we just want to list out all the files. So archive equals zip file. Well, I mean, this isn't what we want because this is an actual file. We're trying to grab the file contents from here. Oh, sorry, I gotta keep my music going. Okay, so extract base64 zip. I mean, I think this is what the function is doing over here. io.bytes is the same as file name, kinda. Okay, so zip file in memory is io.bytes io zip data. Yeah, okay. And then we create the readable file over here. And we don't necessarily want to extract everything. We want to do the name list. I guess we want to get the name list over here. So dot name list, and then we're going to print out a message. Successfully extracted files to extract path. And I guess we could also print out another message. The other message will be print these are the files in the archive. And then print out I guess we'll just call this file underscore list. Okay, I mean, if this is what we're doing right now with the function, then we can just run extract base64 zip over here, go all the way down, and this step will be called run the zip file function. And we'll run the zip file function on zip underscore file. Okay, well, we'll write this out. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't, then we'll go back to debug again. Okay, successfully extracted the files to extracted files. These are the files in the archive, hmv.txt. So if this is always going to be hmv.txt, we can just read the contents from here. And we'll do that inside of actually, can we, since this is run, can we save the yeah, I think we can we can save whatever contents are inside there, and we can save it to a variable a little bit later. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to read the contents of that file. So the file is going to be called hmv.txt, and let's just go back up to the function over here. So this is going to be number 4. Read the contents of the extracted file. Hacker says for file in zip, print f.read. f.read. I mean, I think in this case we already have file.list. So I mean, we could do something like so read the contents of the extract id file. Whoops, it should be on this. Okay. For file in zipref .namelist with zip ref dot open file as f print f read f.read. Okay, so let's see if this works. For file. Okay, let's write this out. Let's run the thing again. Inconsistent use of tabs and spaces. Oh, I mixed my tabs and spaces. Line 28. For file. Oh yeah, okay. So we mixed our tabs and spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, remember everybody, can't mix your tabs and spaces. Okay, so let's write that out again. Let's run the script again. Okay, so successfully extracted files to extracted files. These are the files in the archive here, and then we read this. So these are the bytes we need to turn. Well, I mean, these are bytes, and this is exactly what we want. We need to return bytes back to the server. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to return Can we just return this? Return f.read. And I mean, is this going to be okay, or is Python going to not going to appreciate this? Okay, we can try writing this out, and we'll try saving this out to run the function, and then the bytes. So content bytes. Actually, we'll just call these bytes. So bytes equals to, yeah. Bytes equals extract base64 zip file, and we'll see if this works. And I guess we'll print this out as well. So print f. Okay, so print out, this is the content of the zip file, of the text file. And then print out bytes. Okay, so we'll write this out. Hacka says, however, return will exit the function after reading one file. In your case, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, in this case, yeah, it's not gonna matter. If for some reason we had multiple files, then we would need to come to that bridge when we get there. Okay, so successfully extracted the files. These are the contents. These are the files in the archive, just this one. And this is the content of the text file, this right here. So if we got this content here, we can complete the challenge by sending these contents back to the server. So all we need to do is, we'll skip this part where we convert the bytes to a string and convert the string to binary value, because we're not doing this. All we need to do is send the challenge back. So run the zip file function, get those bytes, send the challenge, s.send bytes, and then receive the flag. Hopefully we can finish this in the next step. Okay, so we write this out, and then on this side we run the script one last time. Okay, done. Great. So HMV, zip, and text are here. Great, 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 great. Okay, so before we finish out the challenge, let's go ahead and talk about what we did inside of the code. So we've got a lot of white space here. Let's get rid of some of this. Okay, so we imported a bunch of modules. We got the socket module, we got the base64 module, we got the zip file module, we got the IO module. And let's do the review. Okay, so in this challenge here, you're going to receive a zip file encoded in base64. The zip file contains a text file that contains a string inside. You should return the string inside the text file. So the server is going to send us this base64 encoded string. We need to decode the string back into a zip file, and then open the zip file, and then get the contents of the text file inside. Then we need to send back the contents of the text file to complete the challenge. So in the script, we import all of these Python modules: the socket module, the base64 module, the zip file module, the IO module. We've got the server that we're going to be communicating on, and we've got a function that we wrote so that we could handle the base64, well, the zip file anyways. So the zip file is going to create a zip file in the memory from the data that we send to it. So the zip data. And then we're going to open up the zip archive by using the zip module over here to create a zip object. And after that, we're going to get a file list. We're going to list out all the files in the archive, and then we're going to read the contents of the file in the archive over here. So we're going to read it, f.read. This is something we can do inside of the zip object here. We got our error handling over here, and then we connect to the server. So everything up there is what we're going to be using a little bit later. So we connect to the server, we receive the strings. So the string, the base64 encoded string right here, we need to decode it into the original file. And the original file looks like this. Afterwards, we run our zip file function, and then we convert it into bytes. So we run the zip file function, it extracts the files, and then it reads the files, and we save it to these bytes. Then we send the bytes back to the server, and then we get the flag. So here's the content of the text file. Then we send it to the server, we get the flag over here. So we just need to copy this and submit it to the server to finish the challenge. Oh, we got logged out. Okay, let's do that one more time. Okay. We submitted the flag successfully. Great. Okay. So everybody, that was a guided walkthrough for Level 19 from the Temperance CTF Labs over at HackMyVM.eu. If you enjoyed this guided walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on the video and leave a comment underneath the video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.